Wonderful. Well, welcome everybody to this latest session of Volusia Days virtually. Love seeing all your faces and your locations. We are privileged this morning to have Jamal Sowell, President and CEO of Enterprise Florida, joining us. He also serves as the Secretary of Commerce for the state of Florida. Mr. Sowell was previously the Chief of Staff at Port Tampa Bay. He was also a special assistant to the University of Florida president and assistant corporate secretary to the UF Board of Trustees. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps and is a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. He earned his bachelor's degree from the University of Florida, a master's in education from the University of Massachusetts, and a law degree from the Indiana University's Maurer School of Law, where he was a Pat Tillman Scholar. So on that note, I understand we have our guest, and we would like to welcome Mr. Sowell to our team.
Hey.
Good morning. How are you this morning? Thank you for joining us.
Doing well. Yes, yeah, I had to come. I was at the Florida Association of Counties. I went to their meeting real quick, and I just met Heather Post from Volusia County.
Yes.
Yep. So then awesome timing.
Well, we appreciate you being here today. We may have a few questions, but we see that you have a presentation for us, so we'll let you get started. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, so first, I want to bring greetings from the state of Florida and our Governor, Ron DeSantis. And second, let me thank you all for just being a great partner over at the Untitled Chamber, because they've been a great partner to us as we maximize economic development and opportunity for the people of Florida. Because we're all part of a team working daily to keep Florida alive. So please go to slide 2. And so in my role as Commerce Secretary for the state, I serve as President and CEO of Enterprise Florida, the state's principal economic development organization. We are an umbrella for the efforts and initiatives that drive our state level commitment to economic development, and also to give context to the economic developers and the chambers working in every county and most cities in Florida. We are organized by Florida law as a public-private organizational model, and we can support, we have the support of the public sector with the speed of and insight of the private sector. Next slide, please. So we carry out a number of functions at Enterprise Florida, but we are especially focused on domestic business development, as well as cultivating export opportunities for Florida's businesses. Economic development and commerce are about making a good living and giving others the opportunity to do the same. One of the first goals I outlined for Enterprise Florida when I took office was deeper engagement with our small and minority businesses around the state, and with rural Florida. That's been a major focus of ours, to really put everything on the map in terms of areas that people out of state may not think about. So when I go to Chicago with the governor and New York with the governor, we walk into meetings, but we tell them about the whole picture of Florida. So people just won't think it's Miami, or they just won't think it's Orlando. So they know that even the areas that may not get the attention, because Florida's business community is diverse in its industries, cultures, and consumer bases. Slide number 4. As you see, we conducted our first Haitian American Business Summit in January, and this event was a success, and we look forward to spurring more connections with small and minority businesses. This is just the first of many as we reach out to different areas that have never been reached out to before, because our diversity is widely admired and critical to our state's overall economic well-being, because Florida is as resilient as it is diverse. Next slide, number 5. As each and every one of you knows, the business of maintaining a business over the past 12 months has been perhaps the most challenging in generations. Over the past year, we experienced unprecedented disruptions to our economy because of COVID-19. But we are bouncing back and will work to reach marks even higher than in the past, because our state is pro-business and we tax no more than is needed and regulate no more than is necessary. In Florida, we've opted to get people back to work, even against popular demand of what they were doing in New York and in California. People would say, well, those states are doing it right. And we would say, well, we'll just stay quiet. And we would keep at our task. And now we see that our economy is growing and doing a lot better than those states who stayed locked down. Because we know that every job is essential, especially when it's your job, when it's the job that's feeding your family, when it's the job that is putting your kids through school. We know that's important. And Florida is a hot commodity, as you see with all the articles, when it comes to companies looking for a better place to do business. Much of the media attention is on private investment firms, but we're seeing a tipping point for Florida in terms of financial institutions cycling out of the Northeast. And that began way before the pandemic, but rising taxes in New York and New Jersey means that there's a long-term reason to think about Florida. I've had countless cousins and family members wanting to move to Florida and have moved over the past year to Florida because they wanted to leave the areas that was hard for them to work and travel because of the lockdowns and also the congestion and the way of life. So interesting fact that COVID really almost sped up a process of people who were coming to Florida prior, but now 2020 really allowed them to almost realize that they wanted a place where they could spread out. They could have a better place for their business and jobs. Because when you think about Florida or even in Volusia, you can go to areas such as D-Land, where it's a bit more rural, or areas on the coast as Daytona and Sebring and those other areas that when you have the option of Florida, Florida is so geographically diverse. We're 7 to 10 states in one. So you can be by yourself, you can be in a rural area, but still be by the water. And that is so unique that a lot of states cannot replicate. So we've been hearing a lot from manufacturers and corporate headquarters relocations on a regular. But the goal is ultimately about seeing all segments of the economy in every community recover and experience the boom of recovery. Next slide, please. Economic competition is no longer just about one shopkeeper versus another across the street. Businesses, especially in manufacturing and tech, are competing with a host of actors everywhere, anywhere in the world. Our state's concern for economic development is an acknowledgement that Florida does not intend to sit by while homegrown opportunity disappears. While we are seeing excitement in some sectors, others present challenges. And that's why we're asking to seek restoration of the Qualified Targeted Industry Tax Refund, known as QTI, in this legislative session. So the Qualified Targeted Industry Tax Refund, it was a program that sunset last year, placing us at a competitive disadvantage for a broad range of projects in a number of key sectors. So we're grateful to our sponsor, State Senator Joe Gruters, out of the Sarasota area, and also State Rep Chip LaMarca out of Broward, because they know that QTI offers protections and oversights in place for tax dollars. It is a pay after performance tax refund, and the fact that is backed up with accountability measures and a two-step validation process that includes an independent third-party auditor. So these are tax incentives that are performance-based, and if the company does not create the job that they say that they're going to create, they have to then either don't get the money or they give back the money. So we're working hard to demonstrate the value of this program. That is Senate Bill 982 and House Bill 6071. Because we cannot succeed our footing as a leading economic innovator and talent producer of the world. We're also supporting the governor's request for $50 million to fund the Job Growth Grant Fund and $50 million for what we call the Road Fund. Those two programs that have been a great help to county infrastructure improvements over the years. Next slide, please. I want to close on two important points as you see the slide about what QTI does, how it affects lives, how it retains talent, and what we do. For me, one of my first goals when I came to Enterprise Florida is to get our board of directors meetings around the state. I'm a native Floridian, 6th generation, and what that means in Florida is not that much because everybody in Florida is from somewhere else. Everybody was either born in the Midwest, born in the Northeast, and for me as a kid born in Florida, when it was the cool stories, because everybody, still claimed New York, even though they may have been born in New York, they came to Florida at 1 year old, but they still claimed the Yankees. And I was just from Florida. I was a native, and my parents were from the small towns in Florida. So I left, and it took me really the appreciation to leave, living in Massachusetts, living in Indiana, living overseas in other places. When I was in Massachusetts, people would ask me, Jamal, you left Florida for this? The constant question. But because I knew the state so well through high school sports, through church events and everything, I really wanted to make sure in this role that I bring those experiences from my life as a native Floridian, parents from small towns, being born and raised in Central Florida, that we highlight every area of the state. So we actually have our board of directors meeting, the first ever, going to be in Daytona, June 8th and 9th. and we have some great meetings. It's open to the public. And what that is the top business leaders of the state. We meet all over the state, but people usually go to Orlando, Tampa, South Florida. But I said, I want to do something in Volusia County, because for me, as a kid growing up in Orlando, our beach as children was Daytona. So I remember just to see the drastic change of the county has been phenomenal. So so for me, it gives me pride to have our board meeting in Daytona, June 8th and 9th, and obviously the chamber can give you the information. But it goes without saying that Jim Cameron is a legend in his own right, in his own time, and we're going to miss him, not only socially but professionally, because he always brought those new and innovative ideas to Tallahassee. So congratulations to Jim on his retirement. But even though he's retiring, but he'll still be around, so he's really not retiring, which is great, because he is an amazing asset and attribute to Volusia County as an advocate. So as always, I remain a phone call away. We value our partnership with Daytona Beach and Volusia County, and as we work together to support the state's economy. And again, because I know Volusia is so geographically diverse, it's just amazing that I had the chance to talk with you all, but also to have a board meeting with the press is going to be there, top business leaders around the state, and I hope you can attend. Again, it's open to the public. We will have a few meetings at Embry-Riddle, some things at Daytona State College, and even at Bethune-Cookman University. So I hope to meet you all there in person if I didn't have the chance for you to ask the questions. But thank you so much with keeping Florida competitive, and I look forward to your questions.
Well, we certainly appreciate your time, and very much are excited to have all of Enterprise Florida here in Daytona Beach. We agree with you. We have had some major changes over the years, and I think we're a county that's very progressive and moving forward. So to be able to showcase that to all of Enterprise Florida and folks around the state is a big coup for us. We're very happy to have you. And I'm looking for our group to ask any questions. I'm not seeing anything right off the top, but I do have one just from my experience with working with economic development in the state. You mentioned QTI and the road fund and some of the others. Is there anything new on the horizon for economic development to encourage business here? So something maybe you could share with us that maybe isn't on the books yet. So
yeah, definitely. So two things. You have the aviation aerospace industry is booming right now because our historic nature with Cape Canaveral and everything, the launches, they want to come to Florida, but also in the Panhandle too. So Volusia obviously can benefit from the work going on in Brevard. So I think that the aviation and aerospace having an outreach plan is really going to be key, because that has really definitely done well even during COVID, because especially when they want to leave upstate New York and California, because not only do we have the infrastructure here for them, we have the history, but also they want to work for us. And what helps is that you have a lot of veterans who retire in Florida. You have over 22 military installations, and that's the immediate workforce for them. So that is key. But also we have a thing called the Job Growth Grant Fund, which is the governor put in $50 million in his budget this year. But also last night an email came out, a message came out about him requesting $150 million from the legislature that comes from the federal stimulus funds. The Job Growth Grant Fund is an amazing program because it does not go to businesses, but it helps recruit businesses. So we had a Job Growth Grant Fund. Anybody who is a municipality, a city, or an education entity can apply. And so an example of that, Melbourne Airport wanted upgrades. They applied for the Job Growth Grant Fund, and because of their upgrades, they were able to land a major company that is now doing business there that will create hundreds of jobs. So that is really key. So I hope the city of Daytona or the county of Volusia can apply, because if there's an economic development project that's going to improve infrastructure that will create jobs, that's where the money goes to. So long gone are the pots of money just given to companies. It has to be to improve infrastructure, because that helps the long run, just not a short-term, one-term solution. So I hope you can apply for the Job Growth Grant Fund. You go on our website at enterpriseflorida.com. You'll see how to apply, and I can walk you through it and talk you to your team about that.
No, appreciate that. That's good news to hear. I do have a question about the film and television industry, and is there any incentive planned for that industry to bring some of that back to the state?
Right now, there's not. For those who may know the history, the Florida House was pretty much cutting a lot of economic development programs over the past several years. Now we're kind of getting out of that. And because of that, the film and TV industry was definitely caught up in that. So because of that, a lot of the incentives were cut. This is a public thing. This is not anything secretive at all. It was all public, and a lot of that was cut. I think there is room for this conversation one day, but right now, because we're building it back up gradually, that's not on the table right now. Because obviously, but you've seen Atlanta become a film hub, and so Florida can definitely benefit from it. But right now, those industries aren't coming to Florida right now because they know that Florida has not been amicable to the film and TV industry over the past few years. But now, with a new speaker, with a new administration, I can definitely see that tide changing within the next 5 years.
Great info. Thank you very much for your information today. I know Nancy has a couple words here from our team.
Jamal, thank you. Nancy Kiefer, President and CEO of the Daytona Regional Chamber. I'm going to do a shout out to Team Volusia, who is our public-private partnership we have here. And I know you know Keith Norden well. Jordan is the chair of the board, Jordan Gelati from NASCAR, and I believe he's online as well. Keith would want to be here, but he's out with a prospect right now. So I just wanted to share that with you and thank you for always thinking of Volusia County and being such a great partner. We all work so collaboratively here from Team Volusia to the county to the cities, the CEO Business Alliance and the Chambers of Commerce. And that is one of the differentiators we find in our community. So we appreciate the referrals and we appreciate all you're doing to bring people to this area. I'll share with you that our response to COVID has been fabulous because we're getting a lot of requests from New York for businesses to relocate. So thank you, and we'll continue to work side by side.
It's been amazing. When I tell you that, just the change in Daytona. I mean, again, I was a child who would go there, but now I went there for the first time when I spoke to Keith's group in 2019, and I was amazed. The hotels, the speedway, just everything. Just the growth of the universities. So again, being from Orlando, that was the beach that we would go to as kids, and now it has definitely transformed from the days of the spring break weekends to now almost really a national hub.
Well, we certainly appreciate the shout out and hope to see a lot. The beaches are still beautiful. The speedway's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Also, I have a cousin who's a teacher at Mainland High School and everything. Yes. So named Kim Matthews. Has been there for about 20 years and just loves it and everything. So basically, for us in high school, we would go there to watch Vince Carter play at Mainland. So for us, that was just like amazing because he was a legend back in that time.
Well, if you go by there now, there's a statue out in front of Mainland High School. So
yeah, that is no surprise. No surprise.
Well, appreciate your time this morning, and anytime you can come to our area or we can be of service to you to help bring things to the state, please reach out. Nancy, Team Volusia, any of us on this call would love to work with you. So thank you again.
Again, June 8th and 9th, we'll be there. I hope that you all can come. It's a public meeting. We have events and luncheons, and so please reach out to Jim or Cheryl if you want that information, and I hope to see you then.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a great day.